seen guys who are a little nuts before, but
You're listening to NTParanormal After Dark. Nothing normal about it.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's another episode of NTParanormal After Dark. And I'm joined here by Allie Bolton.
Hey.
And Sarah Hatfield.
Hi.
And we've got Kristin back in the studio again as a special guest.
Hello.
You remember her from the last episode. She's been doing some camera work for us. And then we also got a new special guest in the studio. We got Michael Cross.
What's up?
He does a lot of data work for us. He'll like look over the evidence and stuff like that. He also does like a lot of history research on a lot of the places that we go to. How's it going, man?
It's going. Glad to actually finally be a part of the podcast or investigation.
Schedule conflicts and stuff like that. So how's everybody doing?
I'm pretty good. Okay.
Y'all didn't laugh at the intro this time.
It's less funny the second time.
Yeah, it's lost its charm.
I might need to make a new one, I guess.
I just don't understand the breakdown.
Well, Well, since you're the newcomer, Mike, I guess tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, how did you... What draws you to the paranormal field?
Really, I'm a skeptic. I'm more drawn to the history side of things.
Okay.
I like doing the research and finding out what happened in different places and why people might think that they're haunted.
So you don't believe in anything paranormal at all, or?
No, not really. I mean, I've been to a few of the local spots that I don't think we've investigated, but it's things that are easily explained, like the glowing tombstone out in Springtown.
Yeah, that one's the Goshen. Is that the Goshen?
I thought it was Veal Station because we were actually out there.
Oh
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
looked it up.
We went out to Veal Station. Yeah, the one on Veal Station Road or whatever. It's the limestone.
It was not that interesting.
I think they took the tombstone out.
That
too.
was the story I heard.
Yeah, I guess people have going there.
So, like, I've done a few of the local ones, and when I lived in New Orleans, I went to a couple of the haunted places they had out there, but I've never experienced anything paranormal
It happens.
in any kind of way. So,
But okay, so mainly like you're into the history, and so what are the more interesting things that you've found or that you've looked up for us or for anybody else?
well, a lot of the places around here that we've done have to do with, like, there's a large Indian presence, and there was infighting between the natives and the settlers coming into the area.
You're talking about the Kyle.
Yeah,
one,
Kyle.
The one we've only done one episode of so far because everything keeps going wrong. I think that was what, the Anadarko Indians?
Mm-hmm. Anadarko and Comanche.
Comanche.
Yeah. A lot of the history on specific areas can get a little tedious and boring in most people's
What I like
opinions,
specifically about the research you did on that one is there really wasn't any prompting about it. I just told you there was this really cool place, check it out, and you looked it up, and then there was all this stuff that you found, not even knowing like what all we had like experienced out there that lined up so well. You finding out that was like Indian burial ground and and stuff like that, and it was really cool, I thought.
Yeah, I'd love to do more research on like some of the bigger areas that we might not get a chance to go to, like stuff in New Orleans and out in West Texas. So hopefully we eventually get the chance to go out and investigate some of those places. But
what I've noticed, and I think it's funny, is just about every place we go has the same
story.
Same story. It's like a whole bunch of settlers moved out there.
It's the Methodist versus Baptist church, and it's Rock Church, it's Antioch, it's every place we've been to.
First thing they do, they build a church, they build a cemetery.
They build two churches.
They build two churches, a cemetery, and a school, and then the whole thing burns down, and they're too poor to build.
No, the reason it burns down is the funny part, because Baptists don't like dancing, so the Methodists will build a dance hall, so the Baptists will go burn down the Methodist church.
And in the process, burn the entire town down.
That's the exact story. It's all the Footloose town.
Yeah, your typical Footloose scenario creates paranormal activity.
yeah.
So there's the Kyle one. Is that the most interesting one in your opinion, or?
To me, yeah. That's the most interesting one to me. That
You should
and
research
then,
Comanche Peak.
The Alton Bridge.
Alton Bridge has a really rich history, and then that's the last investigation we just did. But
I really enjoy the story behind why everyone thinks it's haunted.
right. Well, I mean, we're gonna go into the specifics of that a little later. But I mean, for anybody that hadn't seen it yet, like, what do you remember what the history is and all that?
If I'm thinking of the correct one, that is the African American man that was hung near the bridge, and his house was X amount of distance from the bridge.
Yeah, it's
and
a
it
few
got
miles
burned.
into the woods.
I believe it got burned down. I believe with his family inside, didn't it?
Yeah, they wanted to.
I think they just slaughtered the family.
When they
left
went
the
to
house.
hang him, he disappeared, and so they were like, "Oh, we better
They
murder his
panicked.
family too." So
Actually, that's my, as morbid as it is, that's actually my favorite story we've come across, other than Footloose Town. Just because it is sad. It's really sad. But
I just like that we finally found a place where there's a legitimate goat man story, and it has nothing
Nothing
to
to
do
with Goat Man?
Nothing to do with half goat, half man.
He sold
Well, neither
goats.
does the Goat Man.
Huh?
Neither does the Goat
Oh,
Man.
because the Goat Man's a skinwalker?
Yeah.
A Wendigo?
Yeah.
Didn't we decide it's a Wendigo?
Well, it's the same. It's just the same story passed down. It was
I just like saying Wendigo.
the beast of Lay, whatever. It's a Loop Guru. That's the mythology.
Yeah.
A wolf creature, but it became the Wendigo, became a skinwalker in the Southwest, and then when it moved over here, it became the Goat Man. I think it mixed with local mythology, and that's how it became half goat, half man. But the original Goat Man looked like a person. It could, mimic other humans.
That, and I think just local teenagers like to get high and come up with weird crap.
That
say.
too. Yeah.
Well, and Old Foamy actually has a history in Cleburne where there was some weird stuff that went on down there, and
Well, yeah. When I looked up Old Foamy, what I actually found in the actual like city, like it's in the city paper or whatever. The only legitimate thing I saw at Old Foamy was that a guy had killed his wife and 2 kids, dismembered them, put them in bags, and then stuck them in Old Foamy. And then he confessed to it. And when they went to the house, he had actually like done a whole bunch of satanic. Or what he thought was satanic.
no one in
stuff on
Cleburne
the wall.
knows what a Satanist is, so anytime something happens out there, it's
Satanist.
Satanist.
Right. Well, he'd
Every-
actually said he was worshiping. Like, so, I mean, I'm going with it on that one.
But every story behind it was like, it always starts with them devil worshippers. Or,
Yeah, I mean, the hospital in Cleburne, is,
Yeah.
they supposedly take all the babies and, Satanize them. And all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Satan babies.
Well, I've lived in Cleburne for a while. Yeah, that's probably what's going on. That would explain a lot.
It really would. Pretty sure if anything's on a hellmouth, it's Cleburne.
But you and Kristin should actually get together because she's got a lot of really cool stories, which you didn't actually get to share hardly any of them last time. You had some cool stories about
A house
back
I lived in.
home.
Yeah.
The house you lived in.
Yeah.
Why don't you share one with us this time? Since we didn't get to it last time, we said we were going to kind of talk about some of them.
That's true.
Well, I know most of it. I think if we were to go back nowadays and look into it, I'm sure it was probably electrical or something like that. We just never got a chance to look. But a lot of weird stuff went down.
Well,
there.
okay, so like, what's the what do you think is like the biggest thing in your family? Like the one that gets brought up the most, or the one that sticks out most in your mind? Like everybody's like, okay, this is the weirdest thing that happened there.
I don't know. Everybody usually has different opinions on it. For like my brothers, they thought the shadows that started coming towards your bed while you were sleeping was the weirdest. My dad.
Jesus, how do you have an electrical explanation for that?
Maybe it was night terrors or something. I don't know.
Okay.
And then my dad doesn't remember an entire year that we lived there, and he acted differently the whole time. So that's the weirdest to my mom. And it just depends. For me, it's the doll thing, which is why I hate dolls.
Dolls are creepy.
Yeah.
They're
Especially the
Your
porcelain
dad kind of
ones.
sounds like Cousin Eddie. Like every time Catherine revved up the microwave, I'd shit my pants and forget my name for half an hour.
shit.
Yeah, it's just different stuff for different people.
Okay, so what's the deal with the dolls? Why don't you like dolls?
Well, when
they're
I was
creepy.
6 years old, I had one of those life-sized dolls that I played with all the time. And at night, I would
Did
put
it
her-
have an O face?
I don't know. I think it was porcelain, but I used to put it in the closet when I went to bed, and I'd wake up with it like beside the bed, in the bed, whatever, and I assumed it was my mom tucking it in with me or whatever. So one night I stayed awake to see who was putting it in my bed, and I had closed my eyes for half a second and jerked awake, and she was just standing in between the closet and my bed just looking at me, and there was nobody in the room, and I said nope, and I threw the doll away, and I hate dolls, so...
There's no logical explanation for that. That's horseshit.
It was
might
a
have been-
dream.
Yeah, I might have been dreaming.
Either
I don't
you're
know.
insane.
Yeah, it could have
Or-
been a night terror.
Or a
dream.
younger sibling fucking with you.
Well, they weren't. I looked at her.
Oh,
and
but-
So we do have an investigation coming up that I just haven't
With
scheduled
dolls.
with a haunted doll.
I want to do it so
Um,
much.
I don't know. He might
Yeah,
be.
you do.
He might be listening. I don't know if he is. I'm not going to mention his name because we don't talk about our clients' names. But
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, you have to come out to my house because we moved in, and the original owner left this creepy ass doll behind, and I'm pretty damn sure it's haunted. I'm like, dude, just if you want to just come out and investigate, just say that. He's like, no, I really have a haunted doll. I'm like, get rid of it. He's like, we tried. No, okay. I was like, okay. So we're supposed to go out there.
That'd be fun.
It's out in like Frisco.
I want to get scared to death. So go ahead.
We'll lock
Send
the
me-
doll in a room with you.
Good. Turn off all the lights and just it'd be terrifying.
That should be fun.
hate dolls.
hate them.
I do too. They're terrible. My mom liked porcelain dolls, and I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandma used to give them to me for my birthday.
My mom liked to stand them at the end of my bed. Like, I had, like, my bed was right here, and then, like, I had, like, a TV, like, my bookshelf across from my bed, and, like, there they were, like, just looking at me every night and every day, just looking at me with their cold, dead eyes.
Well, you remember my dad talking about the clown doll my grandma got me from Mexico. It was a marionette, and she would hang it from the coat stand by my bed every night, and the wind would come through the window and shake it. And I loved my grandma so much, I couldn't say anything to her about it, but I would just sit up all night staring at that thing as it danced and it just stared into my soul. And
Yeah.
Well, before I got divorced, my wife at the end of the hall had her craft room, and she had a bunch of really antique porcelain dolls. And, of course, they're all, like, lined up and set up right there in view of the door. And then where my bedroom is, like, you can see down the hall in there. And I couldn't sleep at night with the door open, so I'd close the door. Swear to God, almost every day I'd wake up and the fucking door was wide open and those dolls just staring at me. And, I mean, getting divorced sucked, but I was really happy about that. Just,
Take them.
we were packing her stuff up. I was like, take the dolls. Take the dolls. Oh, no, the dolls really aren't that important. No, it's really important. Take the dolls. Because I'm home alone now.
Yeah.
It's horrifying because the door kept opening. Not really, but wouldn't that be cool if that's how that story went?
Would, if that's how that story went.
No. I did pack up all the dolls in a box. I was like, you're totally taking these. All right, so... Oh, your lights are flickering. Humi says his lights are flickering right now. That's because listening to our show brings on paranormal activity.
The demons have found you. Good job.
Yeah, you should probably be careful about that. And yes, wendigos only become wendigos if they eat human flesh.
well, I was explaining the difference between wendigos and skinwalkers and goatmen.
Okay, tell us the difference between wendigos, skinwalkers, and goatmen.
You become a wendigo when you cannibalize. Well, the first story came from France, and that was the Beast of Gévaudan. It was the
I'm not really
werewolf.
afraid of anything from France.
Okay, well, there was it's a legitimate story. It's the Beast of Gévaudan, and it murdered like 172 people. And some people think it was an evolutionary holdover. Some people actually think the guy that eventually killed it had trained some sort of mastiff, because he killed it with a silver bullet. But silver it's different than lead. You have to shoot it at close range for it to kill anything. But that's how the werewolf myth got started.
Okay.
And when they traveled from France to French Canada, they brought along this story, and it mythed into this Wendigo thing where
Is Eric online? I need this substantiated.
where if you eat someone, you become one, and they will use. They'll call your name with the wind to try and draw you out, and it's a Native American legend, or up there, I guess, First Nation. And as it moves south, it evolved into skinwalkers. So skinwalkers can. Wendigo can't act like it's you. It can mimic your voice, but it'll sound robotic and different. It can only repeat things that you've said, the intended victim. And skinwalkers are much the same, except they can look like someone. So
Shape changer.
well, yeah, they can, but they won't be quite right. Their movements will be robotic. What they say will be robotic. What they do will be weird. The other thing they do is they'll join your group. Like, you bring 12 people out into the woods with you. For some reason, you'll count 13, but by the time you get back to the car, it'll be 12 again. The really only difference with the goat man is that it's better at mimicking it, and it'll use animal noises, crying baby noises, crying puppy or kitten noises to lure you out. And the other thing about the goat man is being near it can shift your perception of reality and spatial relations.
You perked up at the kitty and puppy noises. Did something happen?
That Kyle story.
Yeah, everyone knows about the
I
Kyle
know.
story and how, like...
I know that. We're all here. I mean, but, we might have new listeners.
Well, it's because she was looking at me about the kitty and puppy noise, and I'm like, I know.
But it can also mimic
So I wanted to say...
Allie's a sucker for kitty and puppy noises. If
We
you want to
both
possess
were.
her or lure her out into the woods or into a van.
We were both ready to go out
I
in the
know,
woods
I
and
was
save that
like,
puppy.
I know, I wanted to save the puppy so bad. I just wanted to save it.
But apparently their favorite trick is if you're in a group with multiple people and one person goes off, like if they got to take a piss or something, they will pretend to be that person that has been injured and call for help. But you'll be able to know it's the goat man because they'll just repeat the same thing over and over.
I'm pretty sure one lives at Kyle.
Yes, there's such... I don't believe in paranormal things, but there is something weird about that place.
I do like that the game that me and you played the other day.
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn a few weeks ago.
Don't spoil it for people though.
That was fun to watch though.
But it. Okay, fine. Spoil it.
I don't want to spoil it, but it has a lot to do with what we were talking. Like we were surprised.
And you made a crack at the beginning about, haha, this is funny. It's gonna be the.
It's
whatever.
going to be the goat man, and then
In the end,
you
it's
get 3/4 of the way through the game, and they're like it comes up, like it goes through the gamut of every type of horror movie thing. Did you happen to get to watch the live stream of?
No.
I think
playing
you'd
it?
like the game.
I
It
was
was
watching.
it was
fun.
panic inducing.
Yes, I was having
It's
anxiety
quick keys,
attacks.
so I'm sweating. At the end of the 6 hours, I had to pry my fingers individually off the keyboard.
She wouldn't quit either. She's like, "Oh, my abdomen hurts so bad from sitting in this chair." I'm like, "Stop." She's like, "No."
I just had surgery. Of course, my abdomen hurt. But everybody told you I don't play video games because I have an addictive personality. Now you know.
If you're into paranormal stuff and you're also into video games,
Until Dawn was a good one.
NTParanormal recommends Until Dawn.
Unless
It's
you
a pretty
have
good video game.
anxiety attacks, then don't play it.
No, definitely
Because
play it.
it's
It makes
all
it better.
quick key
It's
buttons.
all quick
Play it
time.
in a dark room with
And the
surround
don't
sound.
move thing is total bullshit because it has a
controller
thing where it
vibrates.
wants you to not move the controller, but it shakes the shit out of the controller while you're doing it. So that utter bullshit.
Yeah, you only pass that test one time.
Yeah.
6 times.
I only saw it once. So
I did it before you were watching.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It got harder as the game went on. Like at the beginning, it was easy to keep it still,
And it
but then
shifted.
as it kept going, it got worse and worse.
So, Allie found some paranormal news for us for a change. And I believe you found a pretty cool article, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of it, but
Well, of course not. It's stupid. It's paranormal.
it's basically 5 chilling experiments that attempted to prove the existence of an
Are
afterlife.
lizardmen on there?
No, lizard men
Well,
are
then
not on
this
here
is
this
useless to us.
Mike's
It is useless.
Mike is a lizard man, by the way.
Knew it. I
Do you
called
have the
it.
second eyelid like Hillary Clinton does? Just kidding.
That's her vagina.
Oh.
Her vagina has an eyelid?
I've heard.
Snook in her snooze.
Or her vagina is an eyelid.
Hey, man, it
But
does
no,
its thing.
someone sent me that, though. It was video of Hillary Clinton, and it's supposed to be her second eyelid or what. My brother-in-law is great for the conspiracy
She's got a
theories.
second eyelid. Man, it's downstairs. I poke it with my cigar.
But the first experiment.
Okay, so there's 5 experiments that
Yeah.
that have been done to try to prove the existence
Yeah,
of
to try
an
to prove the
afterlife.
existence of an afterlife. The first one,
Well, let's try to prove the existence of a soul.
yeah, the existence of a soul. Basically, they had like 6 patients who were basically on their deathbed. They were about to die.
Okay.
Dr. Duncan McDougall, I think. Yeah, McDougall.
That sounds like an alias.
Yeah.
McDougal.
Well, this was in the late 1800s.
Yeah,
Duncan
just keep in
McDougall.
mind, yeah, like this was in the late 1800s, and I remember hearing about it a long time ago. He had 6 people who were dying, and he weighed them before and after they died, and there was a 21-gram difference
Well,
between
he kept them
but
on the
it-
table. He kept them on the table the entire time while they died, and it had springs underneath and a weight.
Yeah. And he also did it with dogs and recorded, and apparently the dogs didn't have a weight change, but they also didn't take into account that, of course, as soon as you die, you expel gases, you expel, everything leaves your body.
Your blood stops moving. I'd also
Yeah.
like to insert that he did not get dying dogs. He just slaughtered dogs. And we all know all dogs go to heaven. Therefore, they have souls. Therefore, that is crap.
Science.
Your logic is sound, Donnie Bluth?
What?
Sorry.
That's pretty good.
Okay. The comment section. But yeah, so logically, all dogs go to heaven. That's crap.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I
That's your
have to call it-
argument? That's
Yes,
what
that
you were
is-
screaming about from
Yes.
the other room? When
It's crap!
we're
No.
doing pre-show notes, and I'm talking to Allie about this article, and I'm like, we're sitting here discussing it here from the other room. That's crap! I have proof! Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, just save it for the debate. And I didn't want to hear it, and now that I've heard it, I really wish I had
it
screened
is crap
it.
because
That
they
wasn't my
only,
article. I pulled up a debunk.
they also didn't have much of a
Oh, 1907 is
sample.
when it was
Yeah,
done.
they didn't have much of a sample. They only used like 6 people. I mean, that's not much of a sample to begin with. They also, like I said, didn't take into account that,
It was the 1800s. I don't think they knew a lot about,
Okay, so Here, I'll just read part of the article I found. It turns out that the only source for the 21-gram figure is a discredited study carried out in 1907 by a Haverhill, Massachusetts, Dr. blah, blah, blah. He managed, apparently overcoming any ethical qualms over human experimentation, to put 6 dying people on beds equipped with sensitive springs and claimed to have observed a sudden weight loss of about 3/4 of an ounce at the exact moment of their death. Having reasoned that such a loss could not be explained by bowel movements or evaporation, he concluded that they had souls. The follow-up experiments show that dogs did not suffer the same change in weight. This is an excellent example of where pseudoscience and belief go wrong. His data was decidedly unreliable.
You use pseudoscience.
But it also was never duplicated. People tried to duplicate it and they couldn't. It also says the weight drop could be explained by evaporation because, you know, as soon as your heart stops circulating. It's no longer air cooled, and so water would evaporate off of them. The reason dogs wouldn't shift is because they don't sweat.
They pant. Yeah.
So they wouldn't have a weight change. There's lots of other explanations for why this is a faulty story, but most of it being that he was biased, and it was a confirmation bias. He wanted to believe there was a soul. He saw a change in weight, therefore soul. Confirmation bias.
The second one ought to be...
Hold on.
Oh.
So, okay, so that one's basically like about the soul and what the weight was. But for, okay, the 2 skeptical people in the room, what's your belief on souls? Like, do you have, is there an afterlife and just not paranormal and not ghosts, or is there
thing as souls?
Or is there just not an afterlife at all? Or I'm just curious.
I'm one of those people that once your brain ceases, everything ceases.
I don't think there's a soul at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
I mean, you don't have to out yourself, but you know.
I mean, it's not outing myself. Like, not ashamed of anything. I do try and follow more of a Buddhist teaching. So reincarnation's more of a thing to me.
Okay.
So if you're reincarnated, then you would have some sort of...
So every baby would have to be at
one.
least 21 ounces?
Yeah, at least, I guess.
I definitely don't believe in souls. I think it's all brain activity.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like when people talk about seeing the white light, this, that, and the other, I think just that's what your brain shows you as it's dying. I think it's just like almost like a comfort thing.
But not
I think your brain is
sees
actually
that.
trying to come. Like,
But not everybody sees that. I know at least 2 people with extended death experiences
that saw nothing.
That saw Jack All, and one of them was extremely Christian. So if anyone was going to come back with a near-death experience, she saw nothing.
But I mean, I just.
But I know that person, and I would think.
But yeah, they think part of that is the way that synapses fire when you're dying.
Yeah.
Not just comfort, it's just the way that your brain dies.
Yeah, it's just very flashy.
Okay. I wasn't going to make an argument for it. I was just curious what the consensus was in the room.
The second one is also my least
Do you
favorite.
believe in
because
souls, Allie?
Do I believe in souls? I don't even know. To be completely honest, I don't know.
Right.
But I'm not gonna like sit here and say there is or there isn't because
No,
I don't know. I don't know if I'd call it a soul. I think there's some kind of consciousness. Or I don't know if I believe it. I hope.
I believe in a group consciousness. I think that humans have some sort of...
like a hive mind or
Yeah.
a collect. Yeah, I know. what
and
you're talking
genetic memory, I believe
Yeah.
in that.
Oh, yeah, I'm a big proponent of genetic
about. How's your
memory.
thetan count?
Do you guys have a scale? Draw cells and let's solve it. No, I don't think we're going to do that experiment.
I do have a scale, but...
Well, we could play Flatliners. If y'all have seen Flatliners.
Yeah,
It's
Keith
basically
Sutherland's
this
character
movie
sucks.
where it's a bunch of med students and they keep killing each other in order to see what the afterlife is. And it's not pleasant.
Yeah, they bring stuff back with them every time. I like how Keith Sutherland just gets terrorized by a 10-year-old boy the whole time. The kid from Problem Child, nonetheless. He's just like... Everybody else has got these like really horrible things that followed him back from the afterlife. They're like, Keith Sutherland, what happened to you? He's like, I got the kid from Problem Child. It's horrible.
The second one is also like it involves mediums. Our favorite. Basically, this professor at the University of Arizona, he conducted a study using mediums who, talking to people who recently lost someone. And according to his study, it had a success rate of 77 to 95%.
God, that's a really high
It is
percentage
a really
for
high
something
percentage,
that's not
true.
complete ass.
In this room, okay, I sense somebody has a relative with a name starting with M.
Really?
M. Is this person?
I have a relative with another
Is this person? Did they pass away?
No.
Not you, her. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The spirit isn't talking to you. It's talking to her. Did they pass away? Was it tragic?
It was very tragic.
Oh my gosh. Well, they just wanted to tell you that they love you.
Oh.
Wow,
See, and that's
that's
how
so
mediums
specific.
work. Yeah, see,
But
and
that's exactly what they do.
and that's exactly how this experiment ran.
What's the name of that episode of South Park? Biggest douche in the universe.
Yeah, biggest douche in the
John
universe.
Edwards.
John
Didn't he run for
Edwards.
president? I wish he'd run for president again, so we could vote for him.
No.
No, that's not that guy.
No. Different.
But his control group was only like 70 students, or no, 68, and after that it dropped. Like after
Hey, it's bigger than 6.
it ended up dropped, like the success rate after he
math.
the control group only had a success rate of 36%. Of whenever because he had like the group that he was doing the mediums with that had a success rate of 95%. The control group, which they didn't have any details or anything like that, only had like a success rate of 36%.
So, in other words, he proved psychic activity was crap.
Yeah. That's what I'm reading, at least. Or at least that's what I'm thinking. I'm having a hard time reading this article without just being like, oh.
That's biased. You're supposed to report the news unbiased.
I know, I can't.
It's really hard to be unbiased. Have you seen the media lately?
Well, this is late breaking. This is what happened in
Where's the Fox News?
When did that? when did that happen?
2002.
He just proved that his control group is really bad at cold reading people.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I mean, that's all it is. That's all it is cold reading.
What I need to do is I need to learn to cold read like really well, like the right way, and then
We should run that experiment.
And then the next time somebody emails me wanting to be in the group because they're psychic, which I get those emails all the time, and that is the definite way not to end up on our field team, by the way.
Because psychics aren't a thing?
No.
I can't disprove it, but I can't prove it either, so I can't use it. It's not helpful to me.
My doubt is 99.999% with a little thing over the last 9.
I still want to run experiments with proclaimed psychics or sensitives or whatever.
Well, there's one in Joshua on the way.
Oh,
the palm
reader.
reader.
Yeah, I want to go in there.
Yeah,
I want to do a field trip.
I had my palm read once at Scarborough Fair. I paid $20 for them to tell me I was psychic enough to not need their help.
Man, that is smart.
Yes.
That is super smart. I like it.
No, I really want to kind of, I want to talk to them and like see what, I want to talk to them because I just want to know why. And also, I also have this built-in thing from Mallrats where I kind of hope she has a third nipple.
But the third nipple wasn't real. It was shooting her.
I know.
I don't know if we do have anybody that's like sensitive listening or listening later or whatever. Please contact us. We would like to run some tests.
I'd love to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
We want to be proven wrong. We don't really want to out you or just be mean to you or anything. But I mean, it's just I'd like to collect hard data on it, honestly. But I mean, what do we always say? Personal experience is valid and stuff like that. I mean, if somebody feels like something spooky is going on in a certain corner of the, we go check it out, but we only document what we can document with our instruments.
That's why we never say whether a place is haunted or not for sure, because we don't know.
Yeah, we can tell you what is not going on. We take the opposite approach of what most of the other paranormal groups do. We tell you, okay, well, it's definitely not leaky pipes. It's definitely not this. But we don't say it could be a ghost. We just tell you what it isn't.
Or, you might actually have an electrical problem, or you might, need to see a sleep doctor because you have sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
It's demons. It's not sleep paralysis.
Demons.
Damn it.
It's never lupus.
Always demons.
It's never lupus.
We need to take the house approach to it. We need to.
It's never lupus.
Like part of our paranormal videos, it needs to be us like back at the lab with a whiteboard, and just going through all the symptoms.
Not this.
And then I just yell at Chase, "Shut up, Chase!"
And then at the very last second, after making a bunch of wrong diagnoses, you look off into the distance, and suddenly have the right one. You have to look speculatively at a wall for a few minutes because of something million.
I got it, and then I don't tell anybody what it is. I just
you
run in
run out of the
there
room.
and I just jam a needle into somebody's neck, and everybody's like, "God, I hope he's not murdering
That
him."
was one of my. I was with some friends, and they were might have been smoking some marijuana, and one of them jumped up and said, "Oh my God!" and just runs downstairs and doesn't come back for 10 minutes. Turns out they needed ramen. We were all up there panicking, like, "What? What happened?" Oh, ramen.
Oh,
It was an emergency.
So Houdini.
Yeah. I like Houdini.
Okay, now I read like the first sentence of that article and it pissed me off.
I was one of the most famous magicians to ever live.
Magicians?
I was trying to say
Magicians?
musician.
He was an illusionist and an escape artist.
Yeah, he wasn't a magician.
He was a damn good escape artist.
But like a lot of people also know that he spent a lot of his career debunking mediums and debunking paranormal.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of his history. Look it up; it's really good.
Oh,
History
yeah,
guy.
I've seen documentaries on it actually.
Oh,
Which
dude.
didn't he have like that rivalry with the guy who wrote Sherlock Holmes?
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he did because
It's really weird because despite him writing, you know, about a character that didn't believe in supernatural explanations
he was
and nothing but
so
logic, he was a
superstitious.
hardcore spiritualist, and he showed up at all these places where Houdini was at, and Houdini would debunk him and just like flip the table, and he's like, "You're lying, bitch," and he'd be like, debunked again.
But in the process, he came up with a code word with his wife.
Banana.
Yes.
Cornucopia. The code word is now cornucopia.
Oh, my cornucopia.
That's... Never mind. That's what I'm doing wrong. They gave me the wrong code word.
But him and his wife came up with a code word so that like if anybody fraudulent would try to contact him after death, there would be a code word so that they would know that it's not them being, you know, fraudulent. It was him, you know, actually trying to reach out.
Like I'm gonna do when I die.
Yeah,
Like-
that's my plan too.
You know, we all need to come up with code words, but like at my funeral, y'all better be doing like EVPs. And, you know, you're just going to hear Oklahoma, Oklahoma.
Shouldn't you do it at the place they died, though?
No, you don't want to go there.
It's a hotel room and there's hookers and blow everywhere.
Yeah, I was saying you don't want
and a little bit of the heroin.
you don't want to investigate there. It's a dark
I'll
closet.
investigate that.
There's semen everywhere.
So
So much semen.
So after he died, somebody, what was it? Reverend Arthur Ford came forward, said that he had contacted Houdini.
Of course, it was a preacher.
Yeah, of course it was. He even happened to come across, he even said the code word and this and the other, and his wife
Banana.
was,
Hammock?
Huh?
Banana hammock.
Banana hammock.
Cornucopia.
His wife, you know, swore up and down, you know, that, you know, he was legit. He actually was contacted, this and the other, but they also neglected to say that she was also a very heavy drinker. So,
Oh yeah, she was on the sauce.
She was on the sauce after he died.
Hot
so,
sauce or salsa?
Oh, that's
Aaron's not watching, so
sorry,
that's
that's an
why.
inside joke.
So, yeah.
Kristin gets it.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
Kristin's husband.
Well, we had the hot sauce, the haunted hot sauce I stole from that abandoned house.
Oh yeah.
What happened to that?
I don't know. I went to go stick it in Steven's shoe to mess with him, and I lost it.
Aw.
Because did we tell that
For a
story?
long time.
No, we haven't actually talked about the haunted hot sauce.
Oh, the haunted hot sauce!
Well, me and you had gone out to Chalk Mountain. It was the day of the bees or the wasps.
Yeah, which we told that story.
Yeah, but there's an abandoned house out there I've been waiting to get into for a while, but I was too large to fit through the fence before I lost all the weight. So I was finally able to sneak through the fence, and I went into the abandoned house, and all I found was this bottle of hot sauce, and I wanted to bring it home for Allie because she was out of town, so she missed our adventure, and I felt bad, so I thought I'd bring her a present. But after receiving this present, we have been re-gifting it to each other in very awkward ways. Like, I'll sneak it under Steven's pillow, and then I'll come back, and Steven will sneak it into Brad's house somewhere.
And then I stuck it in his underwear drawer. That's the last place I saw it. Oh, it might be in his underwear drawer.
No, it's not. I checked.
Maybe.
Oh my god,
We should go see if it's back
it's
at the
actually
house.
haunted.
I bet Aaron ate it.
Probably.
Who tried it? We convinced
It was
someone
me.
to try it.
It was me. I tried it, and I regretted it so
It
much.
expired in 1968.
Yeah, that house has been abandoned for like 6 years, dude.
I know.
The last time that hot sauce was edible, Kennedy got assassinated.
Yeah, well,
It was an inside job.
it tasted like metal and burning. So.
But yeah, so I stole some hot sauce, and now it is being regifted in awkward ways.
Well, it was until I got lost.
We
So
gotta
I
do
just-
something.
I'll
with
find
it.
it.
We gotta do something with it for Christmas, man.
It's probably in Kristen's room.
We need to
It
label
might
it
be. I have
salsa
no
and
idea.
give it to Aaron.
Oh.
I think he just throw it at you, screaming.
No, it's Aaron. He'd try it. Hey, this looks good.
No, I already tried to convince him to try it. He wouldn't do it.
No, so far I'm the only.
Which is
sucker.
amazing, because I've seen Aaron put lube on a chip and eat it.
He also
So-
ate those Cheetos.
Well,
that
Allie
were
tried to
about
rescue the
die
goat
in,
man. Why
so-
wouldn't she try some haunted hot sauce?
It was a puppy.
It wasn't a puppy, it was the fucking goat man. There's something wrong at Kyle. We played that audio last time. I am skeptical of everything. I'm pretty sure it's radon gas, and we're just getting poisoned every time we go out there.
Yeah. I mean, but puppy. That's probably. Oh my God. What if it's not a puppy? What if it's radon gas?
What if it's a puppy being poisoned by radon gas?
Oh God, we gotta go rescue the puppy.
So how did the code word go? So
Oh.
she was on the sauce.
She was on the sauce, and apparently it's believed that Ford probably bribed her, or somehow worked with her,
Convinced her, probably.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to believe he was still kicking.
Yeah. I mean, that was her husband. I wouldn't blame her for being all excited, and
I would.
I'm
and wanting
excited
him
right
to. But so yeah, there's that one, and then there's the Phillip experiment, which is kind of my favorite.
This one's my favorite too.
Yeah, because they made up a ghost, and every
Okay, what was the Phillip experiment?
the Phillip experiment was a fictitious ghost created by a group of teachers in the 70s. It was
It's
basically
always
to
in the
see-
70s.
I was gonna guess it was a bunch of pesky kids and a dog.
No,
I
that's
would have gotten away with it, too.
that's Lucky Pierre, not. Oh no, you're talking about something else.
Basically, it was to see if the ghost would manifest itself through belief.
Oh, like a tulpa. That's the
It's
Yeah.
not a tulpa.
tulpa.
It's not a tulpa.
But yeah, basically, so to see if kind of it almost to me it sounds like the mass hysteria thing would be like, oh, there's something moving over there, and then
Well-
everybody's like, oh God, I see
Well,
it.
that's the experiment I want
Yeah.
to run. I want to take 6 people through a house and tell them tell them anything about it and see who has experiences afterwards. Then I want to take 6 people and
Tell them that there's
and
nothing.
plant different stories with different people and see what they come out with at the end.
Yeah, and I would really like to do that too. But that's basically what this experiment is with a ghost named Phillip.
What a boring name for a ghost.
I know, right? But I mean, his life was everything. His life, his death, everything was fictitious. But
Power
you know,
of belief,
they
man.
apparently the first 3 months it says were pretty eventful, but eventually they were able to contact him through knocks on the table.
It's a tulpa.
They were able to have a conversation with him, yes or no questions. 1 knock for yes, 2 knocks for no. So that whole thing. But and eventually, it all came to an end when, they were all told that, hey, Phillip didn't exist. So suddenly, he just disappeared.
Power of belief is a strong thing.
It is.
Well,
It really is.
that's the big theory about how a Ouija board works. Is you're basically talking to your own subconscious, which is actually a little more scary than actually talking to something.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to talk to my
Yeah, I don't want
subconscious.
to talk to mine either. Mine's...
I figure Kristen's is the most terrifying
I
because
don't
she's quiet and nice.
She's got that 1,000-mile stare too. She's just
do.
like
Straight murder,
kill.
I played with Ouija boards
blood
before.
sacrifice, blood orgy.
I had a Ouija board tell me to go to a graveyard in the middle of nowhere and bring them candy. So my brain's probably some weird place.
Did you do it?
No.
Candy.
I figured that I'd get there, there'd be some creepy man just, hey, did you bring me candy?
That was
You
a
doing?"
pedophile communicating with
I
brain
don't
powders.
know, but it seemed creepy, and I didn't like
He was
it.
transmitting his last name. You bring me that
I
candy.
want
over there.
candy.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
There's
I'm in
actually
Louisiana,
James
so
Woods. Piece of candy.
people in Louisiana are creepy.
Piece of
So.
candy.
But, it's like what Sarah said. The power of belief is really It is like just take World of the Worlds. I mean, you know.
Oh yeah, my grandma remembers listening to that on the radio and how people thought it was a true story because they missed the.
You know who I haven't talked to? I've talked to like a lot of senior, like my grandparents and stuff. Like they all remember listening to it on the radio. Like, yeah, people were idiots. I haven't heard one person go, "Yeah, well, I started barricading my house up because
Nobody wants to admit it.
Yeah, everybody I've talked to, they weren't in that big group of mass hysteria.
Well, no, Grandma said that when it first started, it scared her because she didn't hear the proclaimer. But she's a really chill sort of person, always has been. So she just waited to hear more. But she was like, yeah, it was pretty creepy. Mm-hmm. She didn't jump out of a building or anything, but...
I'm kind of jealous. That'd be the ultimate entertainment too.
She's also the one with the light
like
story. It's my grandma tells this story, and it's my favorite story by her. She had lived out in a town called Noodle, Texas. It's out in West Texas, past Cisco and Anson, and it's got 35 people in it. And she's from the city. She's from Fort Worth, and her husband moves her out there. I don't remember why, but she had just had my aunt, and my aunt's a baby. And all of a sudden, she's in the kitchen. Her husband's working nights, and all these lights start coming through her windows. I was like, oh, Grandma, well, did you go see what it is? No, I didn't. I hid under the table till they went away. Well, Grandma's smart. That's why she's 87, and I'm going to die when I'm 35.
Yeah. You're a horror movie character. So.
We all are. When we are ghost hunting, we are the stereotype.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a strange noise. Let's go check it out.
Or like, oh, there's a popping.
I don't know. I definitely like that Phillip story, though, because I think that's like 95% of what we do find out there.
Yeah.
A lot is like just being inside our own heads. I mean, it's the skeptics the group.
I totally agree with as soon as someone's like, oh, this is over here. Oh, yeah. Like, I think that's what happens with everyone that sees UFOs.
Well, I have a lot of
UFOs
fire
are
in
real.
the sky, guys.
There's no such thing. Well, there's
Technically,
there's
you're
unidentified
correct.
flying
UFOs are
object,
real.
but there is no such thing as aliens.
Yes, there are.
Oh no, there's not.
Okay, I see.
Maybe microbes on other planets.
Well,
crawling
microbes
out of
on
the
other
ocean.
planets, but the universe
No,
is
there's
infinite.
aliens.
This is my argument. There are so many planets in the universe. There is no chance that there aren't aliens.
See, and I agree.
Statistically, there has to be.
Okay,
life.
There has to be.
But they're
I
also
don't
visiting
think
us.
I can
know.
agree with
They
that,
are.
but they
I
don't give a
disagree with you.
shit about us.
They do not.
They are here.
We are probably just as much a myth to them as they are to us.
You're a Cylon.
I probably am.
What the fuck is a Cylon?
Battlestar Galactica.
Oh no.
I know.
Oh,
I was just pissing you off. I don't watch Battlestar Galactica, and I won't. You can't make me.
I'm a Clockwork Orange.
But anyway,
They're aliens, and they're here,
and I think
and they're being really quiet right now.
I was gonna make a comment, but then
I
got
think
crazy,
the
so.
more active your imagination is, the more prone you are to mass hysteria. Because I know personally, I'm pretty, because I like to be scared. So I'll buy into it real fast because I'm like, yeah, I want to be scared. Yeah, I totally saw something over there. But
Well, I mean, when we were out at Hudson Oaks, and like when we were first getting started, before we even had a video camera, we were just into.
Oh, you mean the time you scared the living crap out of me?
Yeah, but you bought into it really. But I mean, that time.
I hated you after that.
That was amazing.
But
That was some of my
He's
best work.
Satan.
What about but think about remember that one time with Nicole.
Don't say your name.
She didn't say her last name.
We had a friend. Yeah, we told that story before. The friend that thought she was possessed, and everyone else thought she was possessed, and eventually they had gathered the crowd that all thought she was possessed.
And it really did, everybody
And
was
it gave
real
off a
amped up.
feeling.
Yeah, it got to the point where everybody had a huge everybody was feeling it.
Like, we drove up to the house and could feel it. It's almost like their panic was creating a panic bubble.
Yeah, it was the strangest thing we've ever been really a part of.
I don't believe in possession. I think she was having some sort of psychological issue, but
it was so
it's
great.
kind of like that thing. Like, if you walk into a room and everybody's been fighting or whatever, you can just walk in and feel the tension without anybody.
And that's what I think that's a lot of what it was, because we were down the street and we were like, oh my god, we just feel like it was like the sense of dread and everything like that, and everybody when we got there was so strange.
yeah, everybody was acting weird.
Was acting goofy.
How do you act at a demon possession party?
They just weren't. I didn't know these people as well as she did, but they were just all acting.
Everybody was
off.
acting weird, and they were 100% convinced that she was
no one
possessed.
was skeptical there.
No.
But I guess you weren't around yet. But when me and Steven were a lot younger, you know, our house has a lot of stories about hauntings. When
Right.
people would come over,
Everybody had a
them,
different story.
we would tell them different stories, like, oh, there's a little girl here, or there's an old guy here, or there's a headless man. And every time we tell them that, they'd see it.
Yeah.
100% of the time.
I don't
Yeah.
know. You keep telling us that your daughter saw people putting blood and fire on the walls.
It was
but-
the
Oh, the
headless
headless
man
man.
that put
Yeah.
blood and fire on
Yeah.
I've lived there for 2 years now, and I'm still.
You know what?
she
I've
was
stayed. I've
3.
stayed in that
Yeah.
room a few times now, just like when I
Yeah.
was over at the house or whatever.
I used to
And
chill
it
in
didn't
that room
bother
at
me
night.
until the last time I stayed over there. Like I had to turn on the light. I felt creeped out in there for some reason.
I used to chill.
I mean, nothing happened, but I was like,
I think that house has a lot of the same issues my mom does, where it's an old house. There's a lot of doorways. There's electrical problems. There's a lot of people in there. There's freaking raccoons in the attic.
Well,
Big fire hazard.
after you pointed out like where the attic door is at,
Yeah, it's,
in,
like,
in
right
that,
there.
in that open closet. I don't like having my back to that. I'm like,
Well, you probably shouldn't, because, you know, I've had a mouse come out of there that was brave enough to just walk up to my foot and give me a fuck you look until I fed it a cracker.
That and also
The
all
animals in that
wasps.
house ain't scared.
There's wasps in
apparently
that
they're
attic,
racist
and
too.
they're
They eat
cool.
white people.
Give me a cracker, man. It was a white and orange mouse.
What?
It wasn't like it was a African American mouse.
That's not a thing.
White and orange mouse.
It was like a light tan, okay.
Oh, okay. Trying to
You didn't smoke.
calico mice.
Yes, I had been. It might not have been a real mouse. I might have been on ecstasy.
That is awesome.
If it
Winner.
talked, does that make it less likely that it was real?
Yeah, a little bit. It kind of makes the story just that much less credible. Speaking of uncredible stories, you got
One more.
Last one I actually didn't have a chance to read. But it's the reincarnation. It's just.
I had a speech planned out for this one.
Oh, did you? The reincarnation
better address it
experiments is the name of a documentary, 1983, by an Australian guy named Peter Ramster. It's like hamster.
Ramster.
Ramster.
Peter Ramster.
Ram hamster.
Peter
Ram hamster.
Ramster.
Yeah.
Ram hamster.
Ram hamster.
He shall be known
Forth
henceforth
as Ram hamster.
That is some Australian porn. That is what you
Australian?
found.
But apparently, like, he was a staunch believer in reincarnation, claiming to have vivid dreams of his past. He said one of his subjects of the documentary had a remembrance of a life during the French Revolution. When hypnotized, she spoke in perfect French and remembered specific details, such as street names that no longer exist.
You can
And
zap
that is-
people's brains and make them learn different languages.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Or, like, that one guy who, like, had a head injury and suddenly spoke, like, perfect Spanish or
Yeah.
something like
Like the guy
that.
that could suddenly play the piano perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, they've done tests on, like
oh
that
yeah,
with
that was
electrodes in your brain.
Dave Matthews.
Yeah,
Oh,
the house. I remember that episode.
I love that episode.
But no, in reality, they've gone in and they can, they basically give a small shock to a part of someone's brain and they'll have perfect recall.
Yeah.
So they will
I
know all
mean,
sorts of
or
languages.
if you can have, like...
You think
or-
maybe that plays into the genetic memory thing you were talking about? Like you shock it and then they get genetic memory of
Probably, but the
Something
experiment
happens.
they did with that was they had some mice and they had them run a maze repeatedly, and then they bred the maze running mice, and the babies were able to run the maze on the first try.
Yeah.
Is the shock treatment like an elective surgery I can get?
I believe you have to have some sort of serious medical problem to apply for that.
Erectile
might-
With your
dysfunction.
brain.
I might.
But yeah, and also, like, going back to the belief structure that, like, you can tell anybody something and they, like, believe it. There are people who are like, oh, yeah, you were such and such in a past life. Yeah.
That's implanted
I remember,
memories.
yeah. I remember that. And
That was a big deal with that the child molestation case at that daycare. Was that the
Yes.
psychologist was implanting false memories in the children.
And then, like, they remembered everything. They remembered being molested. They remembered, like, vivid details of
I'm
something that
remembering it
never
right
happened.
now and we're just talking about it.
They're just remembering things that never happened.
There was actually an interesting documentary called The Boy Who Lived Before.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked it up, and it's about a little kid he's from someplace in England or, I don't know, somewhere in Europe. And he had vivid memories. He was about 5 and they were actually able to take him to the place where he was talking about, and he was able to point out the places. Mm-hmm. But I had the weird
Was
personal
he the one that
experience
like
with
said he was murdered?
No,
was
he watched his dad get hit by a car.
Okay, there was one little boy who said he was murdered in a past life, and he was able to go to the crime scene where where his body was, in his past life, and he was able to like do that. That's what I remember.
I mean, it's pretty interesting.
Well, Caitlin had that weird thing she said to me that one day, because before I got pregnant, I had a really good friend who was she was 5 months pregnant, and she was on her way back from the appointment where you find out what the baby is, and she was going to have a girl, and she was in a car wreck and lost her baby. And when Caitlin was about 2.5 or 3, she was in the bathtub and just randomly looked up to me and said, I was supposed to go to a different mommy, but that mommy wasn't ready yet, so I came to you instead. I was like, oh, well, shit. That's creepy. But kids are also, especially my
that's
daughter,
when you just hold their head under the water.
But Andrew has
Till
come
the
to me
bubbles
with
stop.
Andrew has come to me with stories like that too. I was a teenager and I miss my other parents. Maybe we should go try and find them. I think it's just pretty common for kids. I think they're just very imaginative.
Yeah.
And it's like having an imaginary friend. It becomes real to you.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of your daughter, Caitlin says hi.
Hi, Caitlin.
You happy now? She said your name on the air.
My daughter is our biggest fan, maybe.
Our number 1 fan.
Our number 1 fan.
Maybe our only fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is true.
Okay, yeah.
But she was coming up with some pretty good ideas to ask Kid Ghosts. But she's the one that asked about the equipment one. Or who asked about that?
No, that was Jeremy. And,
Jeremy, yeah.
Yeah. He asked a really good question because me, you, and
Kristin?
Kristin.
Her name is Kristin. Jesus.
Well, I know that's bad.
What a dick.
Well, I was trying so hard to remember Jeremy's name that I couldn't remember Kristin's.
It's not Jeremy. Her name isn't Jeremy.
I mean,
You can call me whatever. I don't
Whatever.
care.
Okay, Jeremy.
Anyway, we're going somewhere tomorrow. But he asked a really good question. Because apparently before we were a group, you guys used to go out and...
I've been doing this since I was 16.
Yeah, we just go around and jerk around, really.
Yeah, I know. I heard some of the tapes.
But I remember the first time I ever did it, I was 16, and that's when I thought my house was haunted, and I put out a recorder, like the one I gave you, the actual tape recorder, and I used to set it out all night, every night at my mom's house, and listen to it the next morning. Mostly I just got my mom and stepdad arguing, but by the time I could drive,
Did you?
I was going to cemeteries and putting them out, and then when first it was Cassie came along and we go out and do it, and then she came along and me and her got pretty into it.
Yeah.
And then, you showed up with your rules and...
Me and my mom used to do it
Structure
all the
and-
time.
You know.
Oh, yeah, your mom's the lunatic that brings stuff home from
Yeah.
haunted places.
She goes to haunted places, finds something, and she puts it in a bag and labels it and keeps it with her. She's like, "This is from the blah blah cemetery. This is from."
That sounds
Mom,
like an awesome
That's
practice.
just an invitation for something.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, we used
That's
to.
probably where that doll came from.
We used to go ghost hunting all the
Wasn't very
time.
dull.
It was fun and creepy.
But we were going to do a viewer question, weren't we? Viewers ask a question.
Only viewer question we had was your daughter saying hi.
Yeah.
Well, Steven, tell her to ask a
But I
question.
mean, we can talk about Jeremy's question. I mean, he had a good question because apparently he got freaked out on some of the ones before because y'all be in the dark with just that. But he asked, does having all the equipment there make the investigation less scary?
Yes.
I think yes and no.
I think it does. Because whenever you're out there alone with a flashlight and you hear a noise, it's a ghost. It's definitely a ghost. But whenever you have equipment and you look down and it's obviously
It
not a
didn't
ghost.
help much at Kyle.
Well, okay, Kyle's creepy. But but other than that, if you have something spiking or anything like that, you can kind of tell, oh, well, it's definitely maybe
Okay,
this.
Mike
And-
hasn't been on an investigation yet,
Yeah.
right?
Nope.
What would you
No.
think? Would you think it'd make it more or less scary?
I think it would make it less scary, but I think it's more from a standpoint of if you have a bunch of equipment with you, you're closer to technology and closer to
To people?
and civilization. So you're not,
You're more distracted, I think.
you're not out like in a cemetery.
You're out there
or
worrying
in the
about whether or
woods
not
by
your camera's
yourself.
focus is
Yeah.
working or not. So your mind's taking off the
And-
terror of it.
Okay,
a
so we
little
got
bit.
2 less scaries.
Yeah.
Brad?
I think it can be more scary, but
See, I think it's both.
I mean, a lot of times, I'm actually one of the people that's holding like the evidence camera. Or whatever.
So then you look up and you're.
The big problem is, and what people don't realize, like,
Or when Allie shines a light in your face.
Yeah, they see the video and they see everything looks really well lit, but they don't understand why it's blue. But what they don't understand is that's invisible light. It's just black. It's like walking into a room with all the doors.
What was it,
and
the
windows
Alton
closed.
house? I was watching the video of me when I was sitting in that room by myself, and it looked so well lit, but my eyes are really wide open. It's like it was well because I was trying to see because it was pitch black, and when your eyes
and
automatically.
that's the scariest part for me.
I'm
more
afraid
than
of
anything like that because I can't see.
But with the equipment, like if you have the camera, you'd think you'd be less scared because you.
Oh yeah, you
see.
gave it to me the one time, and I had the same thing happen.
But it
Right.
limits your field of vision to
Well, what it
little
does is
tiny squares.
it does that,
So-
and so it makes everything else feel a lot
So
further
if something
away.
comes at you from the side, you're fucked.
Well, it gives you tunnel vision, but it also imprints on your vision. And a lot of times I'm
you'll
filming
look
you
up
guys
and you'll
or
see
your
it.
face or something, and so your face like imprints because it's the only light that sees my eyes. So as soon as I look away from it,
Yeah,
I'll just see a shadowy face in the dark.
Yeah.
And even though I'm expecting it, it gets you every time. Especially that's what got me that one time at Antioch.
Because you looked up real fast.
Well, I had looked up and to the side, and I had been like talking to you, but I was looking at the camera the whole time, and then I went to look up, and there's just like somebody right there in my field of vision.
Yeah, I know whenever I'm working the camera or whatever, I'm happy that I can see what's going on in front of me, but if I hear anything behind me or to my sides, I can't
It makes
see.
your back real open because you're so
Yeah,
focused on what's
you're
going on in
focused here.
front of you. As soon as you
Yeah.
hear like that twig snap behind it, like
Yeah.
how does that work out for you? You know, when we go to Kyle in the middle of the night and there's no moon, and you're doing this, and then you hear something off to the left, you know, and then
You jump and look.
you smack the battery out of my hand and run to the car.
I saw something there.
See? How about for you, Allie? Does it make it more or less scary?
In the dark,
Yeah.
it makes it more scary.
Equipment versus lack of. Okay, you remember when we used to go out? More scary or less scary?
I like the equipment because we can I like having the camera and stuff like that. But
I mean, it makes you feel safer because you feel like, okay, like I can
Yeah.
measure it and see it's there. But then it really sucks when we get like some kind of hit or something because you're like, oh shit, there is
Yeah, I
something
can
there.
see if you were to get
But,
a little bit
like-
of evidence, it'd be
but
terrifying.
like I remember
but-
like having the IR camera at the Haltom house, and I know what you were talking about. But like the worst part for that is. What made the technology actually worse is because it does limit your field of vision. I am very freaking night blind. I am terrified of the dark because I don't know what's coming. And if I'm staring at that little screen, something can be coming at me right here. I put the screen down, I'm fucked. I'm dead.
Right, because it makes your
Like,
night
come
blindness
on,
even
like-
worse.
If something's gonna eat my face. And like,
Well, but I mean, what about something like an EMF detector? Does it make you feel safer, indifferent?
I'm a little indifferent to that, but the only thing that makes me feel a little bit unsafe is if we're out in the middle of a cemetery where there's nothing, and then suddenly it goes off, and I'm like,
9 times out of 10, when I
It's
see
just
that thing
underlying.
spike, I'm like, okay, it's some kind of electrical thing.
and it's
it
probably
doesn't scare me.
electrical line underneath.
Unless
the
I set it
ground.
on one of y'all's bellies, like at the Haltom house, and we're completely away from any electrical fields.
Yeah.
That
It's-
was a weird experience at the Alton house. I am fully convinced that somehow the EMF fields were bouncing.
I'm almost 100% positive that's what it is.
Because that's the exact way I felt when I was living at my mom's house.
It's just so weird that it was timing itself to the questions
yeah.
and then, but I mean,
So it's like
and then when I
coincidental.
felt like it had whatever it was had gone that way, it dropped off.
Yeah.
Huh.
yeah, and I mean that's the only evidence we caught there. There were no
Yeah.
pictures, no
Yeah, everything
EVPs,
else
anything
is
else.
just so.
And we only
chill.
caught that on the live stream too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, which is good because the rest of it was,
I don't
filming the cat.
Well, yeah, the cat was the best thing. Little bitey.
I named him Bitey. He's
Yeah,
my
bitey.
favorite.
But yeah, I really think that was the EMFs because that was the same sort of feeling I would get when I was sleeping in my mom's
Yeah.
house with my head by
Yeah.
the.
well, yeah, I mean that it brings up a good point. Like I think some of us, like I really want to test it further. I think some of us in our group are actually sensitive to EMFs, and some of us
Yeah,
aren't.
like I really think Sarah is. Like to be completely honest, I think you are.
And I think Kristin is too, actually.
Because like, well, you remember
my mom used to say
remember
that,
living in the
so-
apartment.
Well, you were feeling like
And-
nauseous and stuff once we got like towards the closet and stuff like that. Like you
That was
weren't you weren't feeling great either. Now you might have just not felt great that night, but
Maybe not. And I was really tired that night.
But when we did the same experiment with you and her, and when the EMFs were going up on you, you're like, yeah, it kind of feels tingly.
Yeah, and
and I
liked
wasn't
that
telling you
better
it was going up.
because you guys went and did that, and I didn't even know you guys were doing that. And then I went later on by myself and did it just, and you guys didn't know I was doing that.
And you had the same
and we had
experience.
The same stuff. So
But what were you talking about, Allie?
Remember, like, remember we were living in that apartment, or one of the apartments, and, you know, like, all the lighting was always weird. And it always, I mean, think about it, like, just remember, like, all the light bulbs would always go off and stuff like that.
I've always had that issue with the light bulbs.
Yeah, but I also think you're also more sensitive to it because, I mean, think back to your mom's house, think back to the apartment, think back to, I mean...
Maybe it's like a latex allergy where being exposed to it more often makes you more sensitive to it.
Yeah.
And if that's the case...
It's like the brother in Better Call Saul.
Oh, yeah! Oh, my gosh, yes.
Well, and if that's the case, then I lived with my head... Because remember when we tested the EMFs at my mom's house and they were so high?
It was worse in your room. It was worse where you sleep. Yeah.
Right, because the biggest EMF field was, like, right there by your headboard where all the electrical...
But I also wonder, like, if, you know, some of the stuff wasn't weird when... Remember when everything started going weird in the apartment? What?
Don't everybody stop and read.
Steven's saying because I have had chronic illness my whole life. I've had multiple CTs, MRIs, X-rays. In fact, I've had so many CTs they won't give them to me anymore.
So do you think maybe that might be...
Oh my God, they microwaved you, and now you're a walking...
Now this is your secret power.
But I think the equipment is a double-edged sword because for me, sometimes it's creepier, especially with the thermal. But what I found, the one time I found it super creepy was at Kyle where we were all hearing and seeing something, but there was nothing on thermal. To me, that was worse because if we hadn't had the thermal, then we could have just assumed it was an animal.
Predator.
But we
Predator shows up.
Yeah, he just also sees in heat vision. But that to me, like, it's when nothing is showing up on the equipment.
Yeah. Like I would very easily say that there was a coyote or something like that out there,
but
which would be a
nothing,
logic. But nothing came up on like that one's debunkable. Like you hear a dog. Like I never even until we did the research or until you did the research later on it. I never would have thought like, oh, a puppy sound is something paranormal. But we kept hearing the puppy sounds in the movement back there, and we looked on thermal, and
there was nothing.
That one's easily debunked. If you hear a puppy, you're going to find a puppy with the thermal camera. But we did not.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, anything paranormal wasn't exactly on my mind. Like, all I heard was like a puppy, and it sounded like it was in distress, and I wanted to save the guy.
Right. I was just trying. We were just trying to use the thermal to find the puppy.
But also, when we all saw the whatever it was walk past the thing, I was fully convinced that was a person.
Well,
but
yeah, and we also saw different parts of it. Like, you saw the legs, you saw the torso, I saw the head.
And when me and him went back, we saw part of it too. But anyway, when we put up the...
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't like that place.
Hey, the first time we saw it, you know, I went through all the evidence and everything, and we were like, oh, we're not going to get it. I had a damn camera pointed exactly where we saw it. One of the static cameras we had.
In that area with the opening?
And I went through all that footage and lined it all up, and I got all the times together. Like, you can hear us talking about it. Hey, I saw it here, you know, and I can back it up to the point that we all said we saw it at, and there's like 2 different angles of that area. There's nothing there.
But
there's nothing there at all.
But we were, a lot of us were fully convinced that it was the security guard from the housing development by it, or someone out working that oil field. And, you know, we could have gone home believing that. But instead, the equipment proved to us that there was not a person or animal out there. And to me, that part makes it scary.
Okay, so we can't prove there's anything paranormal out there. But what I can tell you from our equipment, I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, there was not a person in those woods, and there was not a puppy in those woods.
Yeah, there was nothing that was causing any
I mean,
kind
just
of
to go back
signature.
to how our group works.
There
I
was
can tell you what it was
wildlife.
not. There was wildlife.
But it wasn't what we were hearing or seeing.
No. And I know the thermal works because we found the...
I found a bunny and an armadillo.
Was it an armadillo or was it a possum?
We found an armadillo out at...
Alton, which, we're going to talk about Alton.
Well, the interesting thing was,
awesome.
I noticed that I thought this can't be an animal because its body temp is too low, but it was an armadillo, and they have an especially low body temp.
Yeah, and plus they're
and
like
then we saw the
exoskeleton.
armadillo.
Right, yeah.
It was definitely an armadillo.
So, we
You
can
said
definitely debunk that
The
stuff.
armadillo scared you.
It
Yeah, it bum rushed me.
Well, because it was you get coming up behind you. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking
It's in the
badger.
video.
Wildlife is the scariest part of all. Well, people.
Well,
and then
yeah,
wildlife.
people and then
Yeah.
wildlife, mountain lions.
It's Texas. We have mountain lions, bobcats, ocelots.
First things that
Cougars.
scared me is a redneck with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Then creepy serial killer. Then mountain lion.
We've had the shotgun one.
Yeah. When you abandoned me to get shot by rednecks.
I
Way
didn't.
to go.
To be fair, I didn't know you real well at the time.
And that was the second time you'd abandoned me.
I didn't know you real well at the time.
That's not a good excuse.
I thought you were good.
Oh, the time at George's Creek where I tried to run and got the shit shocked out of me and collapsed.
You had it coming. That's where we're going tomorrow.
Oh, George's Creek, yeah.
I'm excited.
Finally
not for people-
gonna go back there.
Not with
I don't
people
think
with
we've ever got
shotguns,
video.
but,
No,
We have.
we've got videos, but it's one of the. It's like what Carter,
Carter.
where there's nothing that happens, but
Everything happens at Carter. What are you talking about?
Well,
I
there's
know
nothing that
but
happens
while
we're there,
nothing
Oh.
happens.
but we get evidence.
No, we just don't notice it while we're there.
Except, that time that the ghost was lovingly...
Oh, trying to tuck my hair, my hair behind my ear,
Right there, right there.
right there, right there.
After anal adventures.
Yeah, after it
Dude,
tried to have
yeah,
the
I
butt
feel like
sex.
something stuck its finger on my ass. Like,
One in its finger. That was my cigar.
dude, like I don't. I mean, something.
Is that what you call it?
I mean,
It
like
got quiet.
that moved, man.
Oh, the bench? Yeah.
Yeah, that bench moved. Like you could see it moving on the tape, and like Justin was
Oh, yeah,
still.
it-
I was still.
Justin's like,
And-
what the hell's going on?
and, like,
you're
some-
like this far up off the ground.
Because,
And she was like, no, nothing happened. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
like nothing happened. Nope.
And then she gets mad. We're like, just calm down. Tell us what happened. And she's like,
That's literally the noise that came out too.
I turn into a velociraptor when I'm scared.
It sounded more pterodactyl-like to me.
like.
That's a banshee. She sounds like a banshee.
oh, man. This is great entertainment. This is what you're paying for, guys. But yeah, so more or less scary for you? More?
It's. I don't know. It's less. I think it's less scary.
What should we tell
Fence,
Jeremy?
I don't know. Am I allowed a flashlight?
I think what
Like,
you
isn't
should tell
Jeremy-
Jeremy.
Jeremy's going out with us tomorrow if he's still up for that, and he's been out without equipment, so he can answer his own question.
Yeah.
To me, it
Well,
seems
we
like,
should definitely at least have him call in on the next podcast so he can answer
Alright.
the question after
Yeah,
that.
but okay. I'm gonna go with less scary.
So everybody thinks it's less
I
scary.
don't.
To me, it seems like it depends on your view of things. Like, I'm a skeptic. I think it's going to be less scary because my first instinct, if I hear or see something, is not that it's something paranormal. My first instinct is some scientific explanation for it.
I find it more scary
My
because
first
I am
instinct is
skeptical.
It's a goddamn puma.
Yeah.
That's what got, and that's the one place that's ever gotten me that with the skeptical thing. That's why it scared me more because I am skeptical. I assumed it was a deer or human. We confirmed it was not. That was creepy.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's a ghost or a goat man. I'm sure there is some sort of scientific
I
explanation.
still
but
like. I don't know, but if we can, like, if it's not radon gas, then we are almost out of explanations. Like we are running out of explanations.
oh, you never run out of
We
explanations.
need to go back whenever there's no moon again. And
Yeah.
we can-
I think we're coming up.
No moon.
Well, we wanted to also make sure it was cool enough, and that there's a creek by it, so I want all the mosquitoes to be in hell where they belong.
And there's also an internal argument on what size group we're gonna take there.
Yeah.
I think we should just go with.
I think if we take a whole bunch of people, it's gonna
Nothing's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
make it.
Well,
not
I
happen.
mean, but we
if
have-
we don't take enough people, then we're not going to be able to
Yeah.
document anything. I think we got
Because I think the last time,
size.
because it was Justin, Katie, Sarah, me, you.
Well, the last time was
and
just
then-
us four.
And then another
The last time it was just me and Brad.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's when the really crazy.
We also have to be
happens.
careful.
So,
because
like,
near
do you
the
think
end of
maybe we should
October,
just
people
take
are
a
going
core
out for
group of, like,
Halloween.
I think maybe y'all should go without me.
Why?
Why? Because you're a big baby. That's why.
I'm not going.
You just don't want to go.
I don't even want to
I
drive
want to
by
go
the road
back.
I
that goes
think
up
it
there.
should be us four.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
maybe
think it should.
Steven. I would like Steven to be there.
You just want him as a security blanket. It doesn't.
She wants to
help our-
have, like, throw him at the goat man.
So Allie is there to be molested by ghosts.
Yes, I believe
That's
that is
her
my
job.
sole function.
Well, I
You
don't
don't need Steven there. You just use me as a human barrier and lock me out of the car anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't
You don't need
to lock
Steven
you
for
out
that.
of the car. It was an accident. It was an accident.
Whatever.
I'm wondering though, the new moon is at the end of the month, and then there's also the new moon at the end of October. But there's probably going to be a lot of people out there.
Yeah,
during,
not
like,
October.
Halloween.
Oh, yeah. October is
'Cause-
terrible because everybody's
No, we
out.
really don't do ghost hunts in October.
Yeah, because it
It's...
seems like there'd be a lot.
We
of
should do a
teenagers.
ghost walk.
Oh, we've been invited to a couple of them. I need to-
I'm out on October 31st. I mean, I've got kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. It's cool.
Well, I don't think.
October 31st is on Monday.
It's a Monday.
anyway,
Yeah,
so I'll be at work.
but there's a new ghost. Actually, they'll be at the expo, and we got invited on like 3 different ones. I'm sure it'll be like the other 2 ghost walks we went on. Where they're like, oh, hey, we know who y'all are. You know, come do your thing.
And they very politely let us use our equipment.
Yeah.
Mm.
Granbury Ghost Walk was really cool. And
Yeah, I still haven't done
especially
that
like the
one.
Jefferson Ghost Walk because they were just like, hey, just run this. I'm gonna
I
get
like
on my
the
iPhone."
Granbury one because it's my hometown and it intrigues me.
I want to go on the Granbury ones, but also, I mean,
'Cause
for
you're
the
from
same
there.
reason. Yeah, like, because that's where I spend time with my daddy.
What day? Goodness.
What was the next?
Alton
Alton Bridge?
Yeah.
That hellhole?
I haven't been there, so I don't know. Wait,
It's a
have I been there?
hellhole.
We're not going back.
Is Alton
Sorry, you missed
Bridge
out.
the
Well, it's
one-
just.
Well, we
gets-
talked a little bit about the history before because Mike looked at the
I don't
history
think
on
you've
it.
been out there.
No, I don't think I've been.
No, I mean
No.
it's kind of pretty though. I
We
mean,
saw
it really
some
is.
guy jump off
And-
the bridge.
into that nasty water.
It's definitely a really cool place to go, and it'd definitely be a really cool place
It's
to
a
go.
hike. Like,
Yeah,
hike during the day, but it's over in Denton, in it used to be called Alton. It's
and
not-
my dad had the interesting experience out there.
Yeah, okay, so we got a little bit of evidence out there, but
Because my dad has been interested.
The thing that makes Alton Bridge such a challenge is because there is so much traffic it's
And
hard
people
to tell.
and space.
Yeah. So it's hard to tell if you're actually getting anything or if it's just some, fuckwad teenager down the way
Yeah,
getting high
every-
and making weird noises.
yeah, every single EVP we got, I threw completely out the window.
Yeah.
There's,
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
we got noises left and right, but I can tell you it's other people, it's traffic.
Yeah.
Right.
It's walking around, it's fumbling around in the woods.
But-
It's nothing useful in the
But
least
I
bit.
invited my dad for a ghost hunt a while back because he was interested in it, and he actually went on this one, and he had a really nice camera that he brought down there, and he came up to us while we were out in the woods, and he said, "Hey, at the bridge, my camera won't work. It won't take pictures. Got it back to the car. It works just fine."
Yeah. Well, what was weird, I mean, and stuff like that happens, but it was weird because it lined up with what we had going on, not the night before, where we got towards the area where supposedly there was a lot of activity, and my flashlight that I had put brand new batteries in that night was crapping out on
And
me.
the live stream went down.
And
Yeah.
well, and see, I think there's just bad signal over
No,
there
I mean
with
the not the live stream went bad. The phone that you had charged earlier went from having
Right.
full charge to having jack all.
Right, yeah, and that was the night before when we were just testing
Oh
everything
no, I was
out.
talking about the second night.
that was the night of the investigation.
Yeah, oh, I think it happened that night too. I had tested
Yeah, it happened both.
Yeah, and so it's almost as soon as you get to that fence area, just like all electronics just completely go out the window. Either the batteries get drained or something goes wrong. And then we got further into the field and the woods, and I mean everything for the most part just went right. But then your dad showed up and he's like, yeah, my camera's not working.
He said, "I don't know what to make
kinda-
of that." But a couple people have asked questions just to log them for later when that's the time. No, my dad did not get molested by a ghost.
Courtney would like to know you guys should sit in on some religious ceremony stuff and use your equipment to gauge things. As an experiment, I guess.
Oh, like maybe like.
Oh, we should go to my mom's holy roller church when they're speaking in tongues and frothing in the mouth.
Do you think all of that energy, like, because I mean, there's so much energy like in that. Like people work themselves up.
Like a Baptist tulpa?
Well, no, this
God,
basically
a
Assembly of
dolphin.
God. But I remember I used to go to church camp, and basically they'd drag you out all day. It's 110. It's August in summer, and then they'd put you in a big room with no AC, and they'd have a guy that was a very charismatic preacher. And by the end of it, yeah, kids were rolling in the aisles and coming to the Lord, and they were having religious experiments. It was
Because they
fabricated.
wanted some
'Cause
AC.
it's heat stroke.
Well, yeah, well, it was fabricated.
Yeah.
It's another form of mass hysteria.
Yeah.
You're in a room with people that believe the same as you do, something you want to believe, so you all start acting the same.
Exactly, and I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean, it's like that video we watched, or
yeah.
the Pavlov thing, where
They had a bunch of people in the room that would stand up when the buzzer went off,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the girl would start doing it, and then they took all the other people out, and new people would do it with her.
Yeah.
and they're like, "Why are you doing this?" I don't know. We just do this now.
And everyone in the comment section is like, I wouldn't be that person. I wouldn't do it. Yeah, you would. Shut
Everybody
up.
would.
Yeah,
they
no,
just
and-
proved everybody would. It was a 100% success rate.
Yeah.
Like, you can't argue with that.
Yeah.
And there were like 50 people in that thing.
I don't think I would do it.
I'll go to a snake church and see if you can fuck a parcel tongue, you baby.
Oh my god!
I like
What did
Ste-
Steven
I like
ask?
Steven's question. It says, of all the things people say ghosts could be, what would you like them to be? So instead of it being a ghost,
What would we like them to be? Oh man, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I guess we would like it to be, some kind of happy afterlife.
Yeah, I would like it to be a happy afterlife.
Because it means like, oh, you don't disappear after you die or whatever. But that's not what I think it is
kind
most
of
of
a
the
hard
time.
question.
I almost would like them to be something, and that would be my theory too, that they are something scientific that we don't yet have the ability to measure, but one day we will.
Extra dimensional.
And it
Extra
might
dimensional
be.
or a different type of creature or something that, because I mean,
Something that just doesn't exist on the visible
however
spectrum.
many years ago we didn't know that there was, light outside of the spectrum of our visibility.
I mean, hell, we've gone from believing that the sun revolves around the Earth to now
Some people still believe that.
oh
Flat
Jesus
earthers.
Christ, stop it!
Flat
No,
Earth.
they're
The
wrong.
Earth is flat.
Wait, what are you saying?
They're like,
No, I don't understand. What?
What do you mean? You mean everything doesn't revolve around the Earth? Heresy.
heresy. Oh God, I'm gonna
To
be
the
burned at the
stake with you.
I know I'm a witch. Burn her. But no,
turned me
we've
into
gone.
a
Next,
newt.
she's gonna say the Earth is round.
She turned me into a newt. It got better. The Earth is flat.
But anyway, can I finish?
We need to get a flat earther on the show.
Oh, I bet
my
I could.
God.
I'm in a lot of the groups on Facebook. I'll get one to come.
You're such a troll.
I'll get one to
Anyway,
come.
but we've gone from believing that the Earth, that the sun revolves around the Earth
You
to
have.
never mind.
to
Fuck all of you.
what?
To now we have just string theory and quantum physics and everything that
And
it's
Pluto isn't a planet anymore.
Pluto is a fucking planet.
No, it's a planet again.
It's a planet again. They yeah.
So many people
Yay for Pluto.
It turns out if you complain
gay
about
for
science
Pluto.
enough,
No, I said
they'll
yay
take
for
it back.
Pluto.
I know.
So
I'm
I
saying
think-
I'm gay for Pluto.
It turns out if you complain about science enough, they'll take it back. So I think that's what Westboro is working towards.
But I mean, so how do we not know that eventually we won't find out that there's either a paranormal, that paranormal isn't,
Normal?
I'm trying to think. That paranormal isn't just woo, and that maybe it's just the existence of another plane, and that's just kind of mirroring our own. It's
Plane of
kind
existence? You were gonna use a D&D term to describe reality.
You know what? Shut up! Nobody.
But that would be my biggest. If I was going to go for a paranormal explanation with Kyle because of the thing I experienced, it would be alternate dimension.
Yeah.
Alternate dimensions, or what is that? Time loop, or Mandela effect. I think it's the Mandela.
The Mandela effect is so interesting, and
I love the Mandela effect, and I read an article recently that the edge of the edge of the observable universe, right? The radiation that you see, the farthest point where
Right.
light reaches. Well, apparently recent scans have shown that there's parts that are brighter, and there's this big theory that says that it could actually prove the existence of alternate dimensions. I don't necessarily know that because I know
Or
a
that
lot
the
of
speed of light is variable. That was the other.
No, I brought that up on the argument.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was explaining it to somebody, and I was trying to explain like why you can only see so
me and
far.
Steven have been we were talking about it the other day, and he came
Right.
in and he started with all that, and I was like, no, my brain's too full for this shit today. We'll have to talk about it on another
Yeah.
day. But he was discussing why the speed of light could be potentially variable.
Speed of light is potentially a variable, and mainly because the speed of light is too slow. If you can wrap your head around that to actually see any further past that, so, but I don't think it's what it is. But smarter people than me just said, "Oh, yeah, it could be that," but it's just awesome stuff, I think.
Just awesome. I'm still trying to think of my answer to Steven's question.
What do you want him to be?
Yeah, because I think that my answer would be just something to prove that everything's not so blah.
Oh, that life
yeah,
isn't
that life
shit.
isn't shit.
That
That
there's
there's actually
something else.
something to
Yeah.
look forward to.
Like, even if somebody said the fairies, if it was fairies, fine. If that's
Yeah,
the
like
only
as a
thing-
skeptic, say we did collect enough data to convince you that, hey, we found something, and it's not just us tricking ourselves or whatever. What would you want it to be? Like, what would you want to discover?
Well, like I said earlier,
I mean, nobody likes being proved wrong, but if you had to be proved wrong,
well, like I said earlier, I'm more into the reincarnation thing.
right?
So
Maybe they're in between.
maybe.
Oh, like a waiting room.
Caitlin thinks, my daughter thinks that if you're good, basically you get to pick what happens. You can go to heaven, you can become a good, whatever. But if you're
That's
bad,
pretty
you
cool.
have to be reincarnated to learn your freaking lesson.
Oh, that's
Do it
pretty
again.
straight up.
So
dude.
maybe they're being reincarnated as a ghost to learn a f***ing
Well,
lesson.
actually, most. Well, you were saying it's like straight up. Most Buddhist teachings, it's
You reach
what
nirvana
you,
or whatever.
What you are reincarnated as is based in how you lived your previous life.
Yeah.
And not so much good or bad. The main Buddhist thing is you try to not be as materialistic, and you do good things for people.
So I was Hitler in a past life, and that's why I'm being punished with chronic illness.
Yes.
Well,
No, I was just kidding. It
well,
was
no,
a joke.
it's not like
At least I'm not a hermit crab.
It's not exactly like if you're the better you are as a person, you will be better off in your next life, like reincarnated as a human. If you're a complete shitbag, like Hitler, you would be reincarnated as
Crap.
a
guinea
snail,
worm.
Yeah.
something like that.
Well,
But
so maybe if I'm really non-materialistic
Or
in this
Richard
life,
Gere's body.
I'll come back as a rich person.
Maybe.
the
Irony.
end all be all is once you have reached the true enlightenment, you are not reincarnated.
So do you get to remember any of your past lives in this scenario?
Not in anything I've read.
That's shitty. I'd want to remember.
I like the Lovely Bones idea.
Of heaven is
Of
what you
heaven
make
is
it.
what you make it. Like, I really do. Like, it was pretty, and it was happy.
What dreams
kind
may
of.
come.
Well, I was going to say...
Except that she was
except
raped
that
and
she
murdered.
was raped and murdered, and the only thing they found of her was an elbow. But, like...
Steven agrees with me. He wants it to be leaks from parallel universes.
It would be cool as hell. Like...
That's what I want it to be, because that means there's parallel universes.
There's a writer for No
Yeah.
Sleep that writes a lot of stuff about parallel universes. I need to get his name and plug him on here because he's actually got a book out now, and it's really good.
Courtney wants to know what our opinions on CERN and opening a portal to another world are.
CERN?
CERN.
What is
What's that?
Hard to explain, but I don't know what the acronym stands for.
Just tell us what it is.
Let's see. I need to do more research.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
I don't...
But as far as opening a portal to another world, I think that could be cool or potentially deadly.
Have you seen John Dies at the end? You've seen it. I know you've seen it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I know is every
CERN,
million
CERN's the one
I've
that
seen.
did the research on, like...
New boson that interacts with dark matter has been predicted by scientists. CERN.
They're the ones that were using the matter collider, and they were like, oh, you're going to make a black hole, and blah, 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 blah.
And they did. Maybe a black
Yeah, and
mesa.
it did nothing.
That was
They made a
joke.
black hole for, like...
Fizzed out
Like-
after like
Yeah, they made a
millisecond.
singularity for, like, 5 nanoseconds, and then...
Yeah.
Every time he says Black Mesa, that GLaDOS song pops into my head.
Maybe Black Mesa.
That
Cake
was
is a lie.
joke. Ha, ha.
Ha.
Fair
chance.
But anyway, Alton Bridge was... I'm glad we finally got to do it, but we're not going back for any follow-ups. Because every time we've gone...
I just want to go back just for...
It seems like, first off, the more space we have to cover, the more frustrated everyone becomes. The more outside noise we have, the more impossible it is to gather information. And, you know, the more hot and in the middle of nowhere and you're getting scratched by shit and there's wild animals, that place is just a clusterfuck of awful.
And it's far enough away from our base of operations. It's really frustrating to get out there just to find out there's, like, 15 teenagers out there.
And there always is. I mean, there just always is.
I really want to find something out there because the history of it is so cool. The area looks so neat. There's so many cool places to explore out there, but it's impossible.
Well, I got off on track because I was like, I want to see what's around the next corner. Now I want to see what's around the next corner.
Yeah. That's geese fucking all right.
Yeah, that's what we heard. That was that's geese. What was the one from that movie?
That's cats fucking all right.
If you haven't seen The Hamiltons, watch that movie for that scene.
Is that the one with the vampires?
No.
It's not exactly, but it's basically this family that's creepy. Don't spoil the movie, but they're not vampires. I don't think.
They're
but,
just
I don't even remember.
But there's one scene where there's someone making noise in the house, and the older brother comes in. He's like, "That's cat's fucking all right," and he.
Yeah. So that's why, like, whenever it's like it was the geese, I was like, I couldn't.
Put your glasses on.
I don't have them in here. Then.
Oh my god.
Shut up, Aaron. I'll squint all I want. I'm not sure yours are the same.
No, they're not.
No, it just made everything more blurry.
But Alton Bridge was definitely a challenging location. I was trying to think of one that comes close to it, but I can't.
Challenging location?
Well, like something that's... Well, Carter's kind of challenging because it's spread out.
It's definitely more challenging now since, like, everything's boarded up. Like, you actually have to trespass
I could
to
get us
in
in
there.
there.
That's true. But then there's also, like, you know, houses next door to it. And like we found out with Antioch, we didn't think Antioch was really challenging, but it turns out there's a house just on the other side of the fence.
Well, I told you there was houses by it.
Great House. Aaron says Great House.
We've done Great House. We didn't find anything out there except for large malicious dogs.
Oh, no, that was where I got the photo.
Allie got a photo.
Oh, yeah.
Allie got a really good photo.
Because Aaron was the one that went out with... It was me, him, Jeremy, and Cassie. We were the ones that first went out there. And Cassie and Aaron were in the back, and they both sat up at once and went, "What was that noise?" And that's when I decided that I didn't want to be there anymore, and we...
booked it.
And then me and Aaron had the experience that night where we were both awake in the middle of the night, and I was looking out the window, and I thought I saw someone in their backyard. And he came in, and he was like, "Hey, I think someone's in the backyard." So, cat burglar, ghosts, probably the former. Whatever.
What if it's a ghost of a cat burglar? Like, he's actually trying to rob you, and it's just really confusing. You're scared, he's scared, they call the cops, he just runs.
Oh, the ghost boob pic? That was in my car. It was a ghost nipple. This was back before you were around, but we were taking photos in the car because we were doing the picture thing, and someone took one in the back of the car, and in it was my little blue Escort, so it has the little tiny nose, and there was a reflection of a nip, ghost nip.
Ghost nip.
Oh, man.
Was that like a nipple from another dimension?
Mm-hmm.
The interdimensional nip?
Just peered through the veil.
Well, I mean,
Tit first, maybe that's how it sees. We don't know. We don't know how things
Oh
see
my
in that
god,
picture.
what if people see out of their nips?
There was one story I was reading about, or it was one of those Masters of Horror where the guy had done the interdimensional thing, and they switch and everything seems normal until he goes to have sex with the wife,
Oh, I saw
and
that.
she like pops out this monster dick-eating thing from it, and he's like, nope, never mind.
That was also in an anime I watched once.
Ninja
Everything's
Scroll?
an anime.
No, it was, I can't even remember what it was.
Tentacle porn?
No. it
That's
wasn't
hentai, Allie.
Were there any more questions that people...
No. We did want to talk about. Looks like we got about 30 minutes left in the show. So we got. We're doing a little investigation tomorrow. We'll probably get something there, and maybe if we find anything, we'll post something up.
At least a
about
little
that.
video, because we haven't had a good one in a while.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've been good. They just not a lot of...
That'll be cool. October is going to be pretty busy for us. Not because we're doing videos, though, because we're actually doing live appearances.
Well, I had that surgery on the 4th, so that second one is going to be a little...
It's going to be fun, to say the least.
I think I want my daughter to be on the panel with us.
To sub in for you.
Well, no,
She's the only one that knows the material.
I think she'd be interesting.
But October 1st, we're going to be at the Granbury Paranormal Expo That's taking place in Granbury Square.
Yeah, the square in
Yeah.
Granbury.
Yeah, there's over 70 vendors there. You can see what all vendors are going to be there.
And I can give you anyone who wants to go. I can give you directions. I used to live out there, and it's a pretty straight shot from Cleburne for our Cleburne folk.
And we're going to have our own booth. We're going to be doing a podcast from there, first off. But we're also going to have, like, what do you call it? Not exhibits, but we're going to have, like, little sections in our booth where you can actually, like, look over some of our equipment and some of our evidence.
And then you can buy from our equipment from our website.
Yeah, I was going to say, but we're going to have a lot of the really good pictures that Allie's taken for us. We're going to
that are
have...
blown up. They look good.
Yeah.
Have you seen? Did you see them?
Blown up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
I haven't
look
seen 'em blown up.
great.
I'll have to show you in the other room. I had
Awesome.
them all printed
The one from
up.
Great House especially looks cool.
You'll be able to hold them and look at them side by side. Those
You
are
should
really
get them
good.
framed and keep them.
And you'll be able to talk to Allie personally about taking the pictures and
Hopefully,
some
I've
of the
still
signs
got to
behind
take
it.
off.
Oh
I've still
yeah,
gotta get
we're
in
not
touch
sure
with
if she'll
my
be.
job.
If you don't talk
and
to her,
I've got to
you
get a
can talk to me.
babysitter, so I think I'm going to be there for sure. I just don't know if I'm going to have to bring the kids yet or not.
I'll be
Sarah
there.
will be there. We're gonna have like a little
Kristin will be
setup
there.
so you can listen to the EVPs like right there on site.
Someone else should come sit if it's just me and Kristin because we can't talk to humans, so we're going to need an interpreter.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
you'll be able to ask her like how she does that. Kristin will be there with the video equipment. You'll be able to talk to her about that. I think Mike's gonna be there for a little bit in the morning.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and be there.
I don't have a
as long as
specialty now. I don't.
EVP.
Well, you're gonna be running the live stream.
EVPs. Well,
EVP?
live stream and EVPs. I like the thermal. Can I show people the thermal?
You can show people the thermal.
Yay.
And then of course I'm gonna be there, and then I'm gonna be talking about just all of it, how to organize
About
it, get
how
it
he's
together,
the big boss man.
about how I control everything.
And he's Gwen Stefani us again to go on another show.
I know.
Yeah, I did. I got
Way to
invited
go,
to go on
Gwen.
another show. This one's got video.
Oh, so he's ditching us to go on another show with video.
Fancy.
It's true.
I see how this. We knew what this was from the beginning.
Don't speak.
I know what
You're saying. You're leaving us to go do TV.
So
You're a giant douchebag.
we'll all be there doing that. But also, what we're doing is to try to get you guys to buy stuff off our website. We're giving away it's a starter paranormal investigation toolkit. It's got
It's actually really cool.
yeah. It's probably worth like $200. I mean, altogether, because it's got one of the. It's got a Kodak in it that has been modified where it's a full spectrum camera, and it does video, audio, and still pictures. And it's got a pretty good size
Oh, Court's
SD card
going.
in it.
I like the
I also got an IR flashlight.
information in it too.
Yeah, we basically put like a manual on how to use all the equipment and checklist of experiments that you can do. All the EVP questions we use, like all the stuff that we use in the field. It's just like a little mini kit. It's got an IR flashlight in there. It's got a nighttime flashlight that's got like a red filter on it, so it doesn't like kill your night vision. It comes with a EMF detector and a Sony digital recorder in it, and it comes in a nice, cool little case. But the way you get that is if you go on our website and you buy anything from our website. For every $5 you spend in there, you basically get a ticket, like a raffle ticket, like a chance to win. And so you could do it before the expo. You can go into the store, you can buy the stuff, and if you just print out the receipt and bring it, you can redeem it for tickets. And then at 4 o'clock at the expo, we're going to do a drawing, and one person's going to win the kit. So it's totally worth that. And I mean,
Could we ship it if I get some people from online to?
No, the rules are we have to give it away to somebody that's present at the expo, unfortunately.
I was curious.
It's the rule of the expo. Later on, we might do another, if it picks up and people really like it, we might do like an online promotion that way. But we're going to try it out here. And plus, we're trying to boost attendance to the
expo.
To the expo itself.
Yeah, because it's been running for a few years. I can't believe I didn't know it was going on because my grandma still lives there. And
So that's the big one that we're pretty excited about, and that's the first one we're doing. And then on the 15th, we'll be in Carrollton, and we'll actually be on a panel for that. It's at the A.W. Perry Homestead Museum in Carrollton, and that's at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. That one's also totally free. But they're going to have, like, I think it's 5 different paranormal groups. We're definitely the coolest one.
Yeah, we checked. We're the coolest.
We are.
Yeah,
We're
totally. No, they got like Fort Worth Paranormal there. I know that group specifically, and there's 3 other groups that's going to be there plus us. And the cool thing is we all do our investigations differently.
Yeah.
And like that's going to be we're going to talk about like what the difference is between our different methods and the equipment that we use, and like how we decide on to what warrants an investigation, stuff like that. And then they're going to open it up to viewer questions, and then they're going to have other activities there as well. And I think aren't they showing a horror movie in the square?
That was a different event, I think. But they do events down there, she said, a lot that are very kid-friendly.
Right.
Like, Courtney, if you wanted to come out with us and bring the kids, like, I was considering going to the horror movie thing.
Right. But it seemed pretty cool. We were asked to do that. And then, like they were joking about earlier, I just recently got asked to appear on another, like, interview type thing.
Gwen.
Show called Paranormal Agenda, which
I've never heard of it. What is...
I'm not sure. I haven't done all the research on it yet. I just got asked about it today, and I'm supposed to get the details from
Too
him.
bad Art Bell doesn't still do his gig, because I would kill
that
to
would
be
be
on
cool.
Coast to Coast.
Art Bell Coast to Coast?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I know. He looked confused. I know who Art Bell is.
You don't know what... You remember? That's over there got Space Coast to Coast.
I remember Space Ghost.
Okay, well, he was a guy that did it was a long-running late-night AM band paranormal show, and a lot of it was UFO stuff, but occasionally he'd do the ghost thing. But he turned it into a podcast for a while, but Steven said...
Like the show I went on last time.
But Steven said he shut it down for some reason, but he did it for years. I used to love listening to it.
I remember when we were listening to it when we were in Nevada, and I thought it was cool because we're in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the desert.
And we were like by Area 51 listening to the UFO show.
Because we're like, we're in Area 51. Art Bell. Like,
but yeah, Area 51's actually really boring.
yeah.
That's
Just for the
most
record,
boring
Area
place I've ever
51, boring.
What
a lot
was
of
it?
cows.
But you said, what was the name of the show?
It's called Paranormal Agenda. I guess it's like the gay agenda, but with ghosts.
Except the gay agenda is to do nothing.
That'd be fabulous.
I mean, gain equal rights to the humans.
Yeah.
I mean,
Something like that.
I can't find it. I don't think this is a show. I think someone's planning on murdering you.
He did say it was in a basement.
Radio show? Or is it like a webcam?
I'm not sure.
Oh my gosh, what are they trying to like capture you, make you a cam?
Alien Agenda is a...
I literally found out about it maybe 2 hours
They're
before
gonna
we
kidnap
started
you
show
and
prep,
turn you
so.
into a cam girl. Like that's
No, they're going to kidnap him and they're going to turn him into 1/3 of a human centipede.
Look, the guy
you
said
aren't
he
the
really
middle.
liked our shows and he really liked the evidence we did and he would really like to talk to me.
Sounds
I'm
like
gonna get
lies.
raised.
Really like
After
to
this
get you in his
show, he's gonna
basement.
take it back.
I'm in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna have to go with me.
And you decided to add the thing back to the podcast that we only did the first time. Was that the first podcast we did that or the second?
Yeah, well, I mean, I wanted a riveting, just debate topic.
Yeah,
I
a
want
heavy-hitting topic.
something serious that's just on all of our viewers' minds.
And it's probably going to cause a lot of arguments, so we apologize beforehand.
What?
I mean, it's really deep.
It's like you can't talk about religion or politics at dinner tables.
controversial.
Oh yeah.
And what we can't talk about is if we're going to marry, screw, or kill Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, or Freddy Krueger.
You spelled Krueger wrong. Ow.
You're not supposed to point out things that went wrong.
Like your birth.
Like your face.
Oh.
He's not close enough for me to kick him. I'm sorry. I'll do it after
So
the show.
since Halloween is coming up and
There's no
everybody's going to
chicks
be...
on there.
No. Like what about Carrie?
Look, okay, I picked the 3 big ones for Halloween.
Okay, well then this game is going to be less fun for
Jason
you and Mike.
Voorhees
Or a
is...
chick from the garage?
Says you.
You
Okay.
can only have 3. Jason Voorhees is dead. He's come back to life. He's killing all the campers. Michael Myers is a crazy guy that escaped from a mental institution. And then you got Freddy Krueger.
I used to
who
actually have
haunts your
dreams
nightmares.
when I was a kid. I guess my defense for not being scared of Freddy Krueger is I'd have dreams that I married him and ruled the Nightmare Land with him.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start with you.
I know I'm going to have to think about it. Go to someone else.
Alright, I'll go.
Okay.
I would kill Jason Voorhees.
You can't kill Jason Voorhees.
Okay,
No,
the theory is we can kill
Okay,
whoever
okay.
the kill
Yeah,
person
okay, so theoretically, I will
killable.
kill
is.
Jason
You have,
Voorhees.
she is
What's wrong with Jason Voorhees?
She has figured out the way to
He's a
actually
little
kill Jason.
fucked up. Like, he's a little...
Okay.
So I would kill Jason Voorhees, put him out of his misery. I would fuck Michael Myers, and I would marry Freddy Krueger.
Why would you fuck Michael Myers?
I don't know, maybe it'll
It's
make
the
him go-
dead soulless
I
eyes.
think he'd be the
Maybe,
most attractive
maybe.
Are you
of the
attracted to
three.
batshit crazy?
Apparently.
It's the mask.
It's the William Shatner mask.
yeah.
How about you, Kristin?
I don't know. I think I was probably going to answer the same. I think I'd probably marry Freddy Krueger and roll over the Dreamland.
Yeah, I still would marry Freddy Krueger,
Yeah.
but that's
Dude.
the only one I'm solid on.
Yeah, but well, you definitely don't want to fuck for.
I'm going to say that
He's
I'm
a
going
pedophile.
to kill Michael Myers just because I find him annoying, and I'm going to fuck Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, I think we're the
I'll
same on this
I'll
one.
put a bag over his face so I don't have to look at all that.
My logic on fucking Jason Voorhees is he's probably a virgin.
Yeah, that too.
And he got killed because of sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, how come he was a little boy when he died, but when he comes back, he just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger?
I don't know, but that probably proves the same for his man bits, so...
Like, every time he dies, his man bitch
You're
gets
such a
Yes.
size queen.
So yeah, marry Krueger, fuck Jason, kill Myers.
I'm going with the same too. I don't like Michael Myers. He's aggravating.
Yeah, he's
He's
pretty
a
annoying.
bitch.
So what? Okay, so what's yours?
I would fuck Jason Voorhees because he needs to get laid, obviously. I think that would
No,
fix
you think that would fix
everything.
the
I think he would be fine. I don't like Michael Myers. He wears a stupid mask and he's always chasing after that one bitch. And Freddy, we're going to rule over the Nightmare Land because that was my childhood aspiration.
Well, Aaron
wants to be queen of the Nightmare Land too. Aaron, you can't be queen of the Nightmare
Well,
Land.
Aaron's talking about something. He says it's
That's not
abuse because
abuse.
he says it's abuse because he's retarded.
Aww.
You spelled retarded wrong.
He's retarded.
No,
No, that's the
You
word
used-
now.
he's retarded.
You used the
retarded.
R word, Aaron. That first episode of Malcolm in the Middle, they were like, "Oh, they used the R word." It took me 10 years to figure out what fucking word they were talking about because I didn't know the R word was a bad word.
But
It's
no,
cool
he
'cause he's
is
retarded.
technically correct because I mean he's mentally
I don't
Aaron
care.
is because he can't spell it.
Yeah, if you can't spell retarded, you don't get to talk about the retarded.
Yeah.
Maybe he did that on purpose.
But like
No.
he
Thanks for
can't-
watching,
he
Aaron.
can't
Please don't
legally-
leave us.
Jason Voorhees can't legally give consent.
It doesn't matter. He murders people.
He's also dead. He can't legally give consent.
I'm doing the world a favor because if I fuck him, he will stop killing people.
What
for
if that's
fucking.
how you finally stop the Jason movies?
That's
Like
what we
somebody-
talked about like literally like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
I wasn't listening.
Okay, he died because teenagers are getting laid and not paying attention. So he kills people that have sex. So if you fuck him, it fixes everything.
Yeah.
He's just walking around with a raging boner. Mike, you're up.
Well, how can you say no to a raging boner? I mean, I definitely kill Freddy Krueger.
Oh, my husband.
Why?
Aw.
Why are you murdering our
Well,
husband?
I know, that's
I would
our
kill Freddy
husband.
Krueger. I'd probably bang
You-
Jason Voorhees and marry Michael Myers.
Why? Now what's your logic?
Well, Michael Myers chases after the same chick the entire time. He's loyal as fuck.
Oh.
Freddy Krueger.
Oh,
yeah.
Freddy Krueger's jumping into everybody's dreams. He don't give a shit.
What about Jason?
That is true.
Voorhees?
He is a little rapey with everybody.
Maybe he'll stop killing people if I give him
So,
a D.
everybody's just gonna do.
Or he'll give you the D.
Okay, Brad.
How do you know? How do you know he's not a top? How do you know he? How do you know? Like, how do you know Jason Voorhees?
He might be a power bottom, if anything.
Yeah.
No.
He's a switch hitter.
Yeah, I figured he'd be.
He's such a
switching.
bear.
Brad.
Let's see my pick. I'm gonna marry Freddy Krueger
See?
because he's my dream man.
Literally.
I'm gonna fuck Michael Myers because I'm not a necrophiliac, and I'm gonna kill Jason
Lies.
Voorhees because he's already dead.
Oh,
So
So's Freddy.
yeah.
yeah, but he's my dream man.
Didn't Michael Myers also die in a couple movies?
I'm
Every
definitely not
all-
fucking
Come
Freddy
back.
Krueger because he's got the claw thing and
Well, they use handcuffs. Just handcuff the one hand.
no, he's got the stretchy arms. He does it in the first movie. It just-
Oh yeah, the stretchy arms.
He'd be like,
Maybe I should fuck Freddy Krueger. He's got
big-
to
stretchy
all his
arms.
bits stretched like that.
No, I want to marry Freddy Krueger because I get an itchy back and he's got the back scratcher.
It's like Wolverine on crack.
Okay, well, there you go.
So
Jason goes side pocket. No one should go side pocket.
No.
For those who
Freddy
are
Krueger
uninformed
makes
of
the
what a
side
side pocket is,
It's a colostomy bag.
It's an ostomy hole for a
Yeah.
colostomy bag.
Oh, there you go. My bad.
was that Aaron that said that? Shame
Yeah.
on you, sir.
Well,
Of course, if he's going
It came
side
from
pocket, it's
it came from the Russ Martin show. They were talking about a guy that hangs out at Parkland who people pay him to have sex with his ostomy hole,
his side pocket.
and they call him side pocket.
Shame on you, sir.
Anyone else have a question before we?
Before we skedaddle. Well, it takes a minute though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're on a delay. Yeah. Wow, that really registered.
Ain't no shame in my game. Yes, there is.
Oh,
Your
there-
game is nothing but shame. It is the shame game.
Go find you a nice retarded person.
Aww. Aren't I technically part of his game?
No.
Oh.
Go hang out with some retards.
Shame.
Shame.
So all you retards out there,
Shame. Ding ding ding.
that's all we got for
Shame.
tonight's show. We want to take the time to thank all our subscribers, our supporters, and we encourage you to send us all your questions and comments to ntparanormal@gmail.com. For more information about our group and upcoming events, check us out at www.ntparanormal.com. You can also visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/ntparanormal. You can also check us out on Instagram and Twitter, keyword NTParanormal. And if you would like to download the show or any of our past shows for listening offline, you can find the link on our website or through iTunes, because we're on iTunes now. And
Woo.
for all things paranormal, go to ntparanormal.com.
Who's
And
the retard now?
thanks for listening, guys.
You're still the retard.
Bye.